Hey, my reactor. So I'm back again with the women of the Bible, and we talking about Joanna. Her character, a woman of high rank in Heron's court. She experienced healing at Jesus' hands. She responded by grieving herself totally, support his supporting his ministry, and following him wherever he went. The story of her healing may have been known to the Heron himself. Her joy to find the tomb empty except for the angels who proclaimed Jesus alive. Her story. Joanna was a wealthy woman accustomed to an atmosphere of worldliness. One didn't live in her one didn't live in her wrong Antipas course without learning to navigate the powerful currents of intrude that swirl continuously around his throne. But nothing had so troubled and sickened her as the death of the prophet John, a holy man murdered for speaking the plain truth. His head carried to Herodias on a platter like a tantalizing dish to satisfy her appetite for revenge. How sad she had been as she watched Jesus grieving his cousin's murder. Joanna's own life has been so altered by Christ that she may have hoped to influence her on his behalf. Married to Cusa, the manager of her vast estate, she was well positioned for the task. How intently Heron would have listened as she recounted the details of her miraculous healing. But after John's death, Joanna must have wondered what would become of Jesus should he ever had the misfortune of falling into Heron's hand, and what for that matter will become of his followers. Though Joanna would have realized the escalating risk that faith requires, there is not the slightest evidence she flinched from them. Unlike Nicodemus, she made no effort to hide her admiration for Jesus. Along with other women, she provided for his needs from her own purse. Perhaps her gifts made it just a little easier on this teacher who had no place to lay his head. All we really know of Joanna, in addition to her status as cousin wife, is that Jesus cured her of some spiritual or physical malady, that she was among a group of women who traveled with Jesus and his disciples, that she supported his ministry out of her own means, and that she was present at the restoration along with Mary and Mary's mother of James. Whether her faith cost her dearly or little in either her marriage or at court is matter for speculations, but certainly Joanna would have known that Heron had mocked the Lord prior to his execution at Pilate's hands. Quite probably she was among the women present at the crucify, and like the others who went to the tomb to anoint his body, she must have fallen onto her face and all of the angels who greeted her with astonished news. Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, he has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee, the Son of Man must have delivered into the hands of sinful men, be crucified, and on the third day he raised again. She would have run with the others to tell the disciples of the incredible discovery, though Peter and the other disciples discounted the story as the raving of historical women. Joanna would hardly have doubted herself, for she was a woman who lived in an atmosphere of power. She had just witnessed a far greater power than Heron or even Pateless, and she would have recognized it as the same power that had healed her. It didn't matter that her husband served a man who had humiliated Christ. Joanna knew where her allegiance belonged. A woman of high rank, she became part of the intimate circles of Christ's followers, casting her lots with fishermen and poor people rather than with the rich and the powerful. God honored her by making her one of the first witness of the restorations. And I will be back with another story of the woman of the Bible. Bye, my reactors.